All right, what's up, GM Pat?
Hey there, Mike.
How's it going, man? How's things in the warehouse? It wasn't a great 2029 season. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, appreciate your condolences and support. So I'm getting ready to start the 2030 season, which, as a team with expectations as high as ours, it's a pretty pivotal season considering how poorly we played last night or last year.
Yeah. So, or maybe last night in real life world.
Yeah, maybe it was last night in my house. Yeah.
So, I do want to talk to you about what you've done since I watched the video. I watched your I watched the video you posted today, which talked about what you were going to have to do in the off season. And so headed into opening day, I was curious to know what you did about first base, for example, or what you did with your pitching rotation, because Asa Lacy's probably not coming back like he used to be.
What's that?
Asa Lacy's probably not going to be back the way he used to be.
Right.
So what did you do to address the first base issue?
Video? I showed it a little bit in the video, right?
What's that?
I showed him in the video that went up today, right? But then he got even worse during the off season.
Lovely. So what's the fix?
Do you want me to share my screen and show you like the preseason predictions, or go through my team? What do you think is the best way?
That would be fantastic. I think everybody in fake Birdland would like you to share your screen.
Cool.
Let me know when you're ready. I'll put it up.
You want to do it for me?
Well, if you hit share screen and call it up, it'll show me here that I have an option to do it, and then I can.
Oh, right. Yeah, let me just select it so it shares out of the park. Cool.
There it is.
You can see it.
So predicted to finish in second behind the Yankees. Does that put you in a wild card?
Yeah, we would be we'd be tied for the second best team in the AL. Yeah, 89 wins is what we're predicted for. What's crazy here is the runs scored is 897, and the next best team in the AL is 799.
So you're going to have an offense.
Yeah.
Without a lot of pitching.
261 home runs, which I should have looked at this. So that's got to be close to the Orioles team record. And an ERA of 4.49, 774 runs against is there's only three teams worse than that in the AL. But the same thing happened last year, and then my rotation was awesome. And they predicted my offense was going to be this good last year, and then I ended up kind of middle of the pack. So
did you get a new hitting coach? You talked in your last video about.
Yeah, I did bring in a new hitting coach, and just so you can see who the top hitters are, Bob Maldonado is predicted to be top hitter.
Of course, man.
It's nice to see Dylan Carlson still here. The projection system still believes in him.
Did it believe in him last year before he had a really bad year?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And then the number one prospect in baseball, Mario Armendariz, he's also predicted to be there.
That's amazing. Now, where are you going to have him? At second base?
Yeah, he'll play some second and some first, but yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then, but no pitcher here, which Luis Patino, who's one of the top pitchers in the AL last year, wasn't on there last year either. He's a little offended by that. But so 89 wins is what we're predicted for. You want me to walk you through the team, or?
Yeah, let's see it, man.
So let me first go to show you the injuries we've got. We've got a few significant ones. One is.
So before the season started, we have injuries. Is this in spring training right now?
Spring training. Yeah, we're at opening day, but these happen in spring training. So we brought in Walker Buehler, who is still awesome. He's 35. We brought him in on a 1-year, $21 million deal. And he has a really bad injury rating. Wrecked is his injury proneness. And he's out for the first 2 months of the season with a herniated disc. But he pitched 130 innings last year and put up 3 WAR. So he's a solid rotation piece. But he didn't really pitch much in 28. He was out almost the whole year. So, and then in 2027, he was a top pitcher in the league. So we'll see. Hopefully he can bounce back. So he's hurt.
How long do you have him for? 1 year?
1 year. Yeah, 1 year, $21 million.
Cool.
And then McKinley Moore, who we got last year at the deadline, and his pitches out of the back end of the bullpen, he's out, but he'll be back within a week.
Okay.
And then we stocked up the bullpen a bit in free agency. Emmanuel Clace is a guy we brought in who's been after it runs. Yeah, there we go. So I don't have to scroll as much. So he's like a 1 to 3 WAR pitcher out of the bullpen the last several seasons, and he'll be back in like 6 days. But so we've got 2 of like our 4 back end bullpen arms are out, and so is our number 2 starter. So that sucks. And then Franklin Sanchez, who has been a top 100 prospect for years, and I think he's number 88 going into this year. And I was going to give him the center field job. I was going to give it him to lose. And he's out for the first 4 to 5 weeks with a herniated disc. He ripped it up in between Bowie and Norfolk last year.
And I was excited when I saw your video in the offseason video that you just posted when you talked about his defensive ratings. This guy looks like he's going to be amazing in the field.
Yeah. No, that's a Gold Glove dude. And he's got a pretty good – I mean, he's not going to hit for any power, but he's got a really good bat. I mean, he had a 151 OPS plus in Norfolk. Like, if he was anywhere near that with his glove in the major leagues, he'd be the best player in the league. So I don't expect him to hit that well. But so that sucks that he's out. He'll be back like middle of May, I guess, after he rehabs. So now I can go to like the team and show you who we got here. So catcher Luis Campusano left. He was, the best catcher in baseball the last 2 years. He's 31, and he went. The Mariners, who last offseason signed Cole Tucker away from us, signed Campusano.
Wow.
To a 5-year deal at $22 million per year, and I actually offered him 3 years at about $25 million per year, and he wanted the longer term.
And the Mariners are good right now, weren't they? They've
been in the playoffs like 3 straight seasons. Yeah.
Okay.
So Trujillo, Luis Trujillo, not to be confused with my backup catcher, whose last name is also Trujillo.
Okay.
So he's really good defensively. He's good defensively. His ability's not amazing, but his catcher rating's really good. And he put up, 1.4 WAR in 20 starts for me last year. I don't expect him to keep that up, but that was good enough that I was comfortable with it. And then my backup catcher is, I don't know if there's any relation here, Victor Trujillo, who I got in the Rule 5 draft, which I know at times I said I don't use. I decided I was going to give myself a rule that if a guy was 25 or older in the Rule 5 draft, that way I wasn't getting like top 100 prospects that are constantly available.
Right.
So this guy was in Double-A last year and put up 1.1 WAR. I'm not sure if we'll see how he works out. I've got a couple of backup options in Triple-A too, but I think he's worth it just because look at his catcher ability. It's a 70.
Yeah, and we've all seen Sergeant Mushroom's video on catchers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't have the YouTube screen up, so let me know if there's anything that we need to answer or anything, or if you're popping anything up.
Just throwing in Robert from Australia is in the house.
Oh, nice. Sydney.
Started reading the book, Future Value, that you talked about.
Oh, cool. That's a cool book. It's a cool book. At times it was like a little bit beyond like the level of detail I wanted to know about Major League Scouting, but it was still awesome. So this is our starting first baseman, Aaron Sabato, so he was a first-round pick back in 2020 for the Phillies, and he was actually a first-round pick in real MLB this year too, I think to the White Sox maybe, out of North Carolina. So he's a guy, he's good defensively. He can play first and third. He's on arbitration for only $5.7 million. We'll see what he does. He had a monster season in 2028 and then was a little below league average in 2029. 105 career OPS plus over 6 seasons. And what did I give up to get him? Oh, I gave up a couple of decent minor league prospects. This is a third baseman who ripped it up in A-ball for me last year, put up 4.7 WAR, but my scout doesn't think is a huge prospect. So Sato is gone. And then a minor league catching prospect, Bert Ramos, who is really good defensively, but I see as maybe a backup catcher at best. So he's our first baseman.
Cool.
And then we've got Armendariz at second base, the number 1 prospect. Soto, who was one of our best players last year, back at third. And then Henderson. This is all the same. Carlson, Williams, Weinberger, Maldonado. And then Angeletta he was my second baseman a lot of last year, but he can play everywhere. So he's going to play. He'll probably play 3 or 4 times a week at one of these positions. I'll rotate him in a lot at second, third, and short. And then outfield, we got Kramer, who was a decent prospect and ripped up AAA, but then last year for me in the majors did nothing, but he's getting another shot since Sanchez is hurt. And then Mike Gerber, I'm finally giving a shot to, who put up 3 WAR and then 3.9 WAR the last 2 years in Norfolk. And then last year in 8 plate appearances, hit 429 for me. But he's at 28. He's out of minor league options, so he's going to get a shot.
Looks good, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I got a bunch of guys pushing, man. I have so many good outfielders coming. So
might need to deal them for some starting pitchers, man.
Yeah, I've looked around at that. It's hard to turn prospect into prospect trades, like to get a pitcher in those trades. Like teams, you got to be willing to downgrade, at least with like the overall rating, But no, I'll look at that for sure.
There was a guy you told me, I forget what team it was, but you had a potential trade you decided not to make for a top 100 pitching prospect last year at the deadline. And they wanted Dylan Lawson, right?
Yeah, I didn't go back and do it. I did get a guy. It's this guy. I can't remember if it was him. I can't remember who that was, but I made a couple trades, but I'll show you one of them in a minute. But so rotation's pretty similar. Patino, Delgado, Schilt, Lawson, Lacey. I think that's who opened in my rotation last year, just in a very different order, because I think Asa Lacey I basically have in here out of respect. And you can see, this is a guy who's a 65 rated pitcher until he tore his rotator cuff a year ago. And now his velocity is down to 86 to 88. It keeps going down. I think he's toast, and I'm on the hook for $20.5 million this year and next. He honestly might end up getting DFA'd or just like hidden in the bullpen as a long man.
What's OSA think of him?
The same.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a bummer, man. He was a really good pitcher for a little while.
Yeah. Amazing rookie season, and then he was just like a solid number 2 starter for me for like 4 seasons.
Yeah, he had a bounce back year. There was one year where he had, I just remember maybe it was the 3.4 WAR year. There was a year where he kind of came back and it seemed like, he won 15 games.
3.4 WAR that season. Yeah.
In 2028. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it looked like we were getting old Asa Lacey from his rookie year back.
Yeah. And he's put it together like in different times, probably like updates I've done at like the All-Star break where he's like, man, amazing first half. And then he regressed. He never did quite like he did in this first season. I'm curious, although you would think relative to the league, he would still be as good, because after this season, I had the offense turned down too much in 2024, and then I put it 2025 forward. I've had it at the same level, but you would think like relative to the league, he'd still be as good as he was, but sometimes dudes have amazing rookie seasons, I guess. And then
had he had an injury before?
Yeah, he tore his rotator cuff in the minors as his first year.
That's right. That's when it was. Yeah, I thought you mentioned somewhere that he had been injured before. That's what it was. I remember that, like right after he was drafted, like the first or second year in the minors.
Yeah, July 17th of his draft year.
Okay, yeah, that was
his only other major injury. All these are just short day-to-days. Was he tore bicep in 2027?
Okay,
yeah, two torn rotator cuffs. Well, that'll do the trick, I'd imagine. And bullpen, Durbin Feltman, who's in the top 10 for appearances and saves in Orioles history, back as the closer, but he's coming off a year where he missed a lot of time with his shoulder injury, and my scout has downgraded him a bit, but I think he's still going to be good. And then we're missing.
How many more years did you say you have him for?
Feltman, he's just 1 more year.
Okay, cool. So if he's not good this year, then
no big deal.
Yeah.
The bullpen's a little shallow with those 2 injuries, though. So we got Corbin Klaus, who I traded for last year, and then I brought him back on a 1 year, $3 million deal. He's a good bullpen arm. I got him like at the deadline, I think, last year, deadline-ish. Jake Meek is back. Mitchell Stone's been around forever. He's back. Sheehan is like a AAA guy who made the team because of the injuries. Steve Donovan is a guy I got in a trade. He's actually a top 100 pitching prospect. Looks pretty good, to be honest. I mean, these are his ratings as a starter. I forget to. So as a reliever, this guy looks like he could be good. So,
his stuff was even better as a reliever. It looked awesome.
Yeah. The stuff normally goes up when you switch a dude to relief. Yeah.
Because they're going to have better stuff for a shorter span of time.
Right. Yeah. Just like real life. Like every closer is a failed starter, you know?
What's Asa Lacy look like as a reliever? Does he change much?
I can't imagine it's anything worthwhile. Let's see. No, he doesn't change at all.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
I was wondering if he could become a guy who could get you an inning or two in relief and shut people down, but he doesn't even have that in him.
No. Yeah, so Donovan's back. I traded 2 prospects for him. Not back. Donovan's here. And he's really only on the team because of the injuries. I wanted to give him a shot. He's only pitched 13 innings in AAA. But he's a rotation piece for sure. You know, somebody's got to replace Lacy. And then Jack Perkins is back, the former 8th overall pick. And then Ronan Kopp, who has been up and down the last couple of years. He's a 4th-round pick from 2020. He's just a long man. A couple of these guys will go down once we're healthy.
Speaking of former first-round pick Jack Perkins, can I get a look at how Gavin Cash is doing, the guy I wanted you to draft that year?
Yeah, absolutely. Was that the year that I took Perkins?
Pretty sure he was the guy you got.
Yeah, because I think Cash went like 10th overall. Oh, he's retired, dude.
Get out of here. What happened to this dude?
He never made the major leagues, and he retired at the age of 27.
Nonsense. Because he would look at those years in like high A and double A, he was ripping it up.
Even his last year, he tore up double A and was really good in triple A.
Did this guy go visit the guru? What happened?
Yeah, he was released and sailed off into the sunset.
Man, I was really looking forward to following that young man's career.
I would have liked to sign him as like a 1st and 3rd baseman this season. Put him in Norfolk and been my depth down there.
How old is he? 27, and he's gone from the game?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, he put up really good numbers in the minors pretty much every year.
He wouldn't have retired if he would have been an Oriole, because you would have had him up.
Right, he would have been up in like 2027. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a question here about Dylan Carlson.
Well, I'm going to minimize my out of the park screen if I can. Is that cool for a minute?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right.
JP's wondering about the price of Dylan Carlson jerseys coming off that subpar year.
You mean top 10 hitter Dylan Carlson? Projected to be
top 10 hitter. Top 10 hitter last year too.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that was a every once in a while when you spin the wheel, it's going to land on a certain number. It just landed on a bad number for him last year.
And we got to see what the new hitting coach can do.
Oh yeah, I did bring in Mark DeRosa as my new hitting coach.
Now, where was he? But was he a hitting coach for another MLB team?
No, I don't think he's ever been in the majors.
This is Mark DeRosa, who was an Atlanta Braves player.
Was he Braves?
I thought he was like a second base. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Here, we can view his former player profile. No, he was an infielder. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Braves for a while and then Rangers. I always remember him as the Cubs for some reason. He was only there 2 seasons, but I always think of him as a Cub. His best season by far was as a Cub. I see.
Okay.
I don't know. But yeah, he's on MLB Network now.
And he's the new hitting coach for the fake Baltimore Orioles for the 2030 season.
Yeah. So he's been in Double-A hitting coach the last 2 years before this year.
Okay.
But we're excited to have him.
I'm excited to have him too, because I want to see if you can change things up a little bit. And we got to get your right fielder and your left fielder back to their old hitting form.
Yeah, no, that's crucial. That's crucial.
And then I'm excited to see what some of these prospects can do. So remember a few years ago when a few years ago in the game, actually, remember 2 weeks ago when in this game, several seasons back, you brought up, you had 3 guys. You traded one of them, Wallen. I think Soto was another one.
Soto was one of them. Yeah.
And then there's another guy.
Vukovic.
Yeah. Is he still hanging around or is he gone?
No, he's gone. He was out of minor league options. And once guys are out of minor league options, I actually have a tutorial video that I recorded like yesterday that I'll put up soon about how like when your fringe roster guys are out of minor league options, like it's time to see if they have trade value. And he didn't, and I ended up just cutting him. But like there was one guy, Brady Corrigan has been a guy in my bullpen forever and ever.
Yeah.
He was like a 20-something round pick in 2020, and he was out of options. And I had a bunch. Basically, I didn't want too many guys in my bullpen who are out of options. So like this offseason, I traded him for 2 minor league prospects to the Braves because the Braves think Corrigan's a starting pitcher. He's going to be their number 3 starter to open the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they good right now in this game?
I think they're decent, like 80-some wins. They haven't been good the last 2 years, but they're working their way back up.
All right, so when are you doing opening day?
I don't know. I might just play it tonight by myself. You know, this might be the live broadcast to kick off the 2030 season.
And then we'll get an update.
Right.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, as you know, I have to jump off soon because I got another stream to get on tonight because I'm just getting, pretty busy these days. My agent's been booking me a lot. No, I got my own show. Do you know I have my own show now?
I do, but in case people don't know, why don't you tell me about it?
Why don't I post a link too?
Cool.
So, all right. Hopefully I spelled everything right because I typed this real fast. Anyway, so over on my own channel in 5 minutes, I'm going to be streaming and we're going to be comparing features of OOTP with Football Manager. And we're going to get somebody on, Brian Shea, who's actually in this chat right now. He and I are going to talk about that because Brian is somebody who I know has played a lot of both Football Manager and OOTP. So we can talk about what the two have, because I know there's been discussions in some of the streams we've had recently about things we'd like to see in out of the park baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about some of the things that maybe, features you can see in the soccer simulator that people might like to see something similar in the baseball one. So we're going to do that. I'm going to jump off here in like 3 minutes and then give me like 2 minutes. I'll run down to the other studio, which looks identical to this one. And I'll be back on.
Cool.
Thanks for giving me my start here on your stream, Pat. I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate your interest in the club. We're hoping not to let you down this year. I'm interested to see some of the Football Manager things. I watched a tutorial video or two, and I was just like, man, this seems like a lot. I don't know if I can manage West Ham while I'm managing the Baltimore Orioles.
Having 2 jobs at once is tough.
Yeah. Well, I was actually wanting to know what JP wants to know. I had that same question.
How to get girls to like you. Yeah, I mean, as we all know, it really comes down to successfully managing a sports dynasty. If you can do that, you can do anything.
On a computer, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
It's close to real life. I'm pretty sure you could step in for the real life O's and do quite fine after you've mastered this game.
I'd like to submit my resume to Mike Elias.
I might send him this video.
No, send it to him once we're back in the playoffs.
Yeah, this isn't a good time. No, you want to pitch him on that when you're riding high again.
Oh, I didn't see Robert's whole comment earlier. The detail that it goes into about projecting players and future value is super cool. I love that. And once you read that one, Robert, I think I mentioned this one last time, check out the MVP machine, because that's really helpful in terms of player development.
And future value is relatively new, or just something you read?
Yeah.
Recently?
No, It came out this summer.
Okay, cool. I got to check it out.
Yeah, it's cool. I have it. I can bring it to your house on Monday.
Excellent.
Outside, masked, distanced.
Yeah, don't touch me.
Yeah.
I've thought about putting a mask on for this show, man. I might have to wear my crabs mask sometime.
Yeah.
By the way, I got a new addition to the stream.
Oh, the Orioles pennant. Nice. Thank you for the support.
Yep, that's the 1983 World Series champs pennant.
I'd like to give you it's the last one.
The last time they won the World Series, both in real life and in your fake game, because fake team, real game. But that's your new tagline. And then Robert wants to know if you can also bring it to his house this week.
Robert, if you pay for my ticket, once I have a vaccine, I will happily fly any book to you in Sydney, Australia. I've been there. I've walked like all tourists who go to Sydney. I've walked the Harbour Bridge. You know, did the tour that went over the top.
I did not do that when I was there, but I saw people doing it.
I'd imagine it's about the most touristy thing you can do there, but man, it was crazy. Oh, Stronghold, you're a Tigers fan. My wife is also a Tigers fan, so I kind of, I root for them, but not when they're playing Baltimore.
And Brian was 15 when his team, the Orioles, won the World Series. So, yeah, Brian and Stronghold, you guys were all in the same boat. I mean, Detroit only had one. The Orioles fans have been waiting only 1 year longer than the Tigers fans. All right, JP, thanks, man. Yeah, let's go fake O's. All right.
Cool. All right, you should hop to your other
I got to shut this thing down and get over to my other office. Robert said, I also did that. Only cost $300.
Oh, the Sydney Bridge Walk?
What's it cost? $300?
I don't remember. I was there I went with our dad, and I'm sure he probably paid my way.
Yeah.
For the Bridge Walk. But whatever, we were in Australia, so if it's your hometown, spending $300 seems crazy. If you're in Australia once in your life, it's like, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, why don't you put your link there one more time?
I might do that.
What?
There it is.
Yeah, that's coming up, in about 3 minutes?
Yeah, coming up. I just got to decide whether to keep this hat on for it or not, and send a link to Brian. And
he's from Toronto?
Oh, from Toronto, but living in Sydney, Australia, I think.
Yeah.
We'll piece this together over several streams.
Yeah, he was the guy in Sydney last time, right?
Yeah, there were two in Sydney.
Yeah, him and young B1 Itch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, man. We got to sign off. I got to get over to my other job as a streamer somewhere else. And Pat, looking forward to the next update on the O's, man.
I'm going to click on that link and go wait for that stream to start.
I will see you there.
Which I hope everybody here will do.
Excellent. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See you, dude.
All right.